Good afternoon, and welcome to Pinhole Quilting. I'm Liz Holpin from Pinhole Quilting at our showroom near Pershore in Worcestershire. My husband Pete is just behind the camera and he is mic'd up as well. And if our mics are working, we will be talking to you on Facebook Live about our lovely long arm machines. And we've been talking about them all day so far, haven't we, Pete, pretty much?
We have.
We have. So we've had some customers in on our Try Before You Buy. And it's been a really interesting session. And it's the first one of what we hope are many of those sessions, because when we do the shows, you get a little bit of a chance to have a go and everybody kind of writes their name or does a and you don't really know much more about long arm quilting than what we can describe in the short amount of time, and there's always other people around you. And so we put on the classes at Festival of Quilts, and they've been really useful. So 3-hour classes at Festival of Quilts with our long arms in a separate classroom. It's been a very good session. And in fact, one of those ladies who was on the sessions at Festival of Quilts came along again today because she found that it was a little bit of a taster, got her thinking more, wanted to know more, seriously considering a long arm, but wants to know more, wants to be better informed and to make a good decision. So that's what it's about. The Try Before You Buy is an opportunity to come along, and it'll be with other customers who are going to be asking some really good questions that you might not have thought of. And this is the benefit of it, is that we can put you on different machines, you can try different machines, you can have a go at the different techniques that we've got on the long arms that are a little different from the sort of conventional domestic system. We can show you how to load a quilt, for example. Lots of people want to know how to load a quilt. We can describe it in a few minutes, or we can actually get you doing it and showing you how to do it for real. And that is a huge benefit, so that you actually have a better comprehension of what's involved in a long arm. So let's just talk about long arms and have some of the questions that were in that session that we think might be useful to you. And by the way, there are a few places left if you are thinking of coming tomorrow, because tomorrow's Saturday. What else are you going to be doing? Come on, this is an opportunity to come along to our showroom and have a session with Stuart Hillard. He's going to be talking about the quilts he made for his new book out in 2024. We've got a morning session, 9 for 9:30 talk or 1 for 1:30 talk. And we finish by 12 in the morning and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And the benefit is you can come along and it costs you practically nothing, because it's £10 for the ticket, but you get a refund against purchases that you make on the day. Bargain. So if you're interested in things we've raised today, we will be raising today in our little session that we're going to do here, because all the machines have been set up, so we can go straight into it. I was thinking about something else. Pete, would you like to say anything? Because I need to know if you've got anybody up.
We've got a couple of people online. Margaret from Greensboro, North Carolina.
Oh, hello, Margaret. Hello.
And Jan Batho in a hot studio.
Oh, it would be hot. It's actually really
quite warm
lovely.
Today.
It's beautiful. And now Margaret's a long way away from us in Greensboro, North Carolina. But Jan's just down the road, practically down the road. Jan is at, what's the name of the village? It's the cricket team went to Lord's. Do you remember which one? Pete's going, no, I don't know. I
can't remember.
It's a lovely village. It's at Dumbleton.
Oh, yes, I think it is.
Got it. Anyway,
Dumbledore, something like
Dumbledore. That's a different thing altogether. So this is my notes, because we've literally gone from 5 to 3 to starting now. I didn't even have time to put up that we were going to be doing Facebook Live. That's how busy we've been. It's been a busy old week. So let's have a look at machines. So we've got lots of machines in here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 long arms at the moment. We normally have 14, but there's 13 at the moment. 14 if you count the old vintage one in the corner, 1920 something, nearly 100 years old. Anyway, this is the more recent version. This is the Moxie, 15-inch throat space, movable machine. So what do we mean by movable? Let's show you what we mean by movable. So this is on an 8-foot loft frame. You can see the machine is quite narrow here. We can make it wider for ruler work. We put on a ruler base when we want to do that. And we don't have to have the computerized system. Oh, that was the thing I was thinking about, Pete. We were just chatting with those ladies, weren't we? Mm-hmm. About computerized and how people think Longarm means, oh, it just does it all for you. No. But if you're on our channel, you probably know this already. But if you're on YouTube, maybe you'll find this and you'll go, oh, doesn't it? Okay. So what does it mean? Hand-guided. I mean, we can get hand-guided movable long arms. We can get hand-guided stationary long arms. We can get computerized long arms. Lots of different things, and they're not all the same. So this is a movable. It's on a carriage, and we move the machine, and we have the frame, which means that we can load our quilt without basting on a 4-rail system. So we've got our backing fabric. This is all loaded for the classes, for our session tomorrow and for next week's foundation workshops. And then we've got our quilt top, which has been basted onto the backing and the wadding. And at the moment it's floated. It's floated, but we could have pinned it in place. And as we progress down the quilt, it means all of the quilt sections come together and we can quilt them and we don't have to baste it. So all those people who hate basting and find it really hard moving their quilt underneath the free arm of their domestic machine, this is the best system for you, because it's easier to draw with thread when you're moving the machine and not the quilt. So it's stitch regulated. And what do we mean by stitch regulation? Right, Pete, I might need you to move now. Oh yeah, because you were just charging up, weren't you? Mm-hmm. So stitch regulation on the Moxie. This is the regulator. It's a little rubberized wheel here. And there's one on the back as well that runs along this little track here. Okay. And so both of those things in that direction and in that direction is measuring how fast the machine is going, which speeds the machine up or down accordingly. And as a result, we get nice even stitches. So quick little demo. Oh, you've been doing lots of little Pro-Stitcher Light here.
Yes.
So this is on 10 stitches per inch in what's called precision. So I've just brought the bobbin thread up by doing needle down, needle up. This has no feed dogs. So basically it's always engaged tension. And if I just press stitch, nothing happens, or start, nothing happens until I actually move it. Now, we've got the gears on, haven't we? So I'm going to take those gears off. That makes it a little bit easier. Look at that. Oh, look at that. We've been stitching so much we've run out of bobbin thread. Okay, so I'm going to get my scissors.
Some here. Oh no.
You had scissors. They've been replaced with a microphone.
Yes.
I've got some scissors here.
So yes, Judy's online. Hello, Judy. Nice to see you. Judy's in Cambridge. Judy Strain.
Oh, Judy's in Cambridge. Hello. And how's the hired help? That's David, her husband.
She says she's missed seeing us the last couple of weeks. Yes, of course, we couldn't do Facebook Live last week.
Gosh, is that 2 weeks? Wow. I can't remember.
Well, last week we were at the Belfast show.
We were at the Belfast show. Where were we the week before that?
I thought we did Facebook Live the week before. I was on
you were on Cricket Tour. Did I not do it?
But you did a Facebook Live.
Okay, maybe Judy was away. Right. Oh, it wasn't that. The bobbin thread must have broken. Oh, okay. Let me do that again then. Right. Right, we put the bobbin thread back in. We check the threading, make sure nothing's weird. No, it all feels hunky-dory fine. So I'm going to do needle down, needle up, bring up the bobbin thread. And I'm just going to stitch down the side here, make sure it's all stitching. Okay. That looks okay. Pull on thread, move to the side. There's my scissors. See, it takes me 2 seconds to lose my scissors unless they're attached to me. Check the stitching. Looks good. Okay. Right, I'm going to go back to doing some free motion quilting because I haven't done any really today, apart from a few demos. Mitching to stitch. Right, so I'll just secure those threads. see, it's just fun. One-handed. There we go. Oh, it's so easy to use. The Moxie is just rock up, do a bit of stitching. Now, they asked very good questions today, ladies who came. One of them was, well, do you have to tie all your ends in? No, you don't have to tie all your ends in. So there's a few different options, all right? So option number one is leave the ends long. So if I leave the ends long, that means I'm going to be leaving both the bobbin thread long and also the underside thread, so I can pull that up and cut it off long. And in which case, so I've now got a black thread and my top thread long enough to be stitched into the quilt. Okay, so those are my two threads left long. And I can use something like a spiraline needle, or I can use the method where you've got like a double thread and then take it around that and you pull it through and leave it in your quilt, snip the end off. YouTube, Google it if you don't know what I'm talking about. Finishing off your stitching. So there's that method. But the method that if you're making a utility quilt, you don't have to tie all your ends in. I mean, anybody who's tried to take apart the stitches on their quilt will know how hard it is to unpick. But what you really do want to stop is the thread, let's keep spinning, the thread coming out from the last two stitches that you've just finished off. So backtracking is one method to sort of reduce the number of stops and starts. So that means if I have gone around something and I want to move on to the next thing, consider using a ruler if you need to stitch in the ditch, or otherwise backtrack. So say I wanted to do a triangle and I wanted to do another triangle. Instead of stopping here and starting my new triangle by stopping here and restarting over here, I can just backtrack. And again, if I wanted to join them together, I could use a ruler to do this, or I can just stitch over the line if my machine is nice and accurate, like the Moxie, and then I can start my next one. Like that. So that's avoided me doing stops and starts 3 times already. So that's a considerable amount of work. But if I wanted to, instead of doing the thread ends and burying them, I can just go back along the line of stitching, trying to sort of nail where the machine had done its stitches, like so, and then move away, little loop, come back, try not to disturb the stitches you've already done, and a final needle down, needle up, and bring it up. Cut that level with the quilt, and there's your finish. Okay, so we don't have to have long ends that we have to tie in, but if you're entering your quilt in a competition, you definitely want to have a neat finish. So you might want to consider burying the threads in that case.
So Jill Pennell says she always uses the double thread to pull through after Carolyn showed her.
Okay.
It's so easy.
It is so easy, isn't it? And you can find it on YouTube. And it's a really straightforward method, and it involves no extra needles. It just involves a loop of thread. So it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. When I first learnt that, I can't remember who told me. Oh, who told me? Maybe Cindy Needham demoed it. She uses Spiral Eye as well. But anyway, whoever it was, it's a genius idea. I always think there's people very clever that come up with ideas like that. That then is free motion quilting on the Moxie, but at any point in time you can add on a computerized system. So with the computerized system, which is called Pro Stitcher Lite, you get over 250 designs, and we can stitch out using Pro Stitcher Lite. So if I put in an area, Actually, I might just move my frame space a bit bigger. 2 corner. And you define the frame space as the area that the machine can stitch in. And that gives me something like this. Can you see that? It's a bit shiny probably. Oh, there's lines.
You always get the flicker as well.
You always get the flicker from the screen. It's the refresh rate that does that, by the way.
So that defines the maximum bounds of the stitching area.
Yeah, and Pete's already got a design on here, so I could just reposition it. So I could go modify, reposition, start point, literally. Oh, maybe you didn't baseline. Maybe
No, I didn't.
Oh, we see. What we do is we have to baseline the previous design to say that's the scale and shape, and now I'm going to move it, reposition start point, and it's just brought the design over, and it's going to stitch it just there.
Brilliant.
Actually, that needs to be probably further over. I'll just reposition it again.
So Carolyn has responded by saying apparently that technique comes from the Royal School of Needlework, no less.
Wow.
Didn't know that.
Wow. It's a cool technique. I can imagine it's been around for a long time because people have needed to bury their threads for a long time. Right, I'm going to baseline that. I'm going to stitch out this little flower. I'm going to go pro stitcher, quilt. I'll take off my start ends. I'm going to show you an alternative way of doing start ends. So the way that Pro Stitcher Lite has it is that it'll do the pull up and then you move it aside. And then instead of having the micro stitches on, if you don't want as many micro stitches as it specifies, which is 5, I think it is, I just do a few tie off stitches, leave the needle up and then press resume. So I've only got 2 little tie-offs because I don't want more. I don't want 5. I only want 2. And I've gone backwards and forwards. It's more of a tacking stitch than a micro stitch, actually. So I've gone from free motion to lovely little organic shape of feather. I love that feather. Isn't that a cute little feather? And you put him on a little slant. Oh, that's really nice. That would be lovely on a little girl's quilt, a little boy's quilt with like flowers. And then there's a little central bit.
So the hired help is being given the afternoon off. He's doing some fishing.
Is he?
So they're over in Cambridgeshire, and Elizabeth Dunkley is online and says hello from Doddington. And
Doddington, just down the road.
And then Judy has said, we're in Doddington too.
No.
Can you believe it?
Wow, what a small world. What a lovely small world we have.
And I was talking about you, not by name, Elizabeth, but I was talking about you to some of the people who are on the Try Before You Buy session today, because I was talking about your love of pantographs.
Oh, yes. When you were doing a demo.
Yes.
There we go. There's a lovely little flower.
There we are.
Nice. So that's Moxie with Pro Stitcher Lite, can be added on a loft frame. 8-foot loft frame can be 10 foot, so you can go up to 100 inches. This is the Moxie with quilting from the back. And so let's just have a look at what do we mean by quilting from the back. Oh yeah, that's a really good question, Pete. You know that big sheet of paper, he's written something on it. This is a 15-inch throat space Moxie coming to the UK beginning of 2024 probably, but it's been announced in the States, is Moxie XL. So we can talk about it now. It was only announced 2 or 3 weeks ago in the States. It's very similar to the Moxie, it's part of the Moxie family. It's going to be an 18-inch throat space machine and it'll work on the loft frame as well. One nice thing about it is this. If you have a Moxie, 15-inch Moxie, and you've got maybe the Pro Stitcher Lite, you will be able to, with a little conversion kit, I think it's probably a longer, I don't know what it is, maybe a longer Y bracket?
Probably.
We're not sure. Anyway, with a little conversion kit, you'll be able to upgrade your Pro Stitcher Lite to a XL. So if you wanted to upgrade to a bigger machine with a bigger throat space, the Moxie XL, and you've got Pro Stitcher Lite on your Moxie, you can keep the Pro Stitcher Lite. Cool. So we're really looking forward to seeing it. We're going to be going over to Houston at the end of October. Very excited about that. We've got to book our classes, and we're going to Houston's Market followed by festival. So market is the trade show bit, and then it converts to the festival, which is for consumers. We're doing both, which is nice because we want to see the range of things both at market and festival. But we'll have an opportunity to try the new Moxie XL when we're over there, which is very cool. Looking forward to that a lot. We haven't been to Houston since pre-COVID. Actually, we haven't been to the States since, well, I've been to the States, but you haven't been to the States since pre-COVID. That was your first visit, wasn't it, Pete?
It was.
Pete had never been to this US of A before, whereas I've been loads of times. Should we move over here? Shall I talk about moving on? Metaphorically. Actually, no.
This was some of the first efforts at pantograph, by the way, that most customers never touched the Moxie before, never touched pantograph before. And it proved the point I was trying to make, which is just how quickly you can get up and running with pantographs and do really good stuff.
Definitely.
And they were...
Yeah.
They were, I think...
In fact, we don't even need to show that.
They were persuaded by that argument.
They were really into it, weren't they? So we've got the Moxie here.
It was a really nice day today, I thought,
we loved
actually, with
it.
those customers.
Yeah,
Very nice.
we think they loved it too. But we had a really nice time. It's great. It's really nice having more than one person to demo to, because you get really interesting questions. They bounce off each other. They think about other things. They think about things that, isn't necessarily within their knowledge at the moment, and they think about those things because someone else has raised the question. So it's a really good way to do it. So we're going to do that again.
We will be scheduling some more, won't we?
We will be scheduling some more, and it'll probably be in the new year. Well, it will be in the new year because
our diaries don't have any space.
Because our diaries don't have any space in them. We've got a very chock-a-block schedule coming up, haven't we?
We have, yes.
It's when they say, we thought you were busy, but then you're even busier. That's what we're doing right now. So I'm going to talk about pantographs. Pantographs are a great way to get a repetitive design evenly, as Liz knows from Doddington, all over your quilt. Brilliant where piecing reigns. You've got a lovely quilt. It's more about the piecing than it is about the quilting. You just want the quilting to hold the whole thing together and to maybe show like a flow, take your eyes around the quilt. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. How do you do that? Nice repetition of design and scale without being a proficient quilter. You use pantographs. So pantographs, what are they? They are, and I'm going to move over here, they are... in this book somewhere, pantographs. Here's some examples. Here are some examples. So designs like this. This one, Cardinal Climbers, lovely. Chai Latte, that's a good one. It fills really nicely. I love Curls and Feathers. Curls and Feathers. Drift is the one that comes with the quilting from the back. Kit, Erin, kind of like a trefoil. Feather Me, these again fill brilliantly. Some of these like Feather Me 9-inch wide rows. These will work on the Moxie. Field of Flowers, that's a 6-inch wide rows. Floral Carpet, that's 7-inch wide. That's much more it's quite a bit more linear. Am I doing this too fast?
No, it's okay.
No, Jade. That's 11 3/4. That's too wide.
So that wouldn't work on your Moxie?
No, it wouldn't.
So you have to take care of the design size depending on which machine you have.
Yeah. So when you get a pantograph, you'll find some of them have got like the corners, like this one here, Leaf Play. And my favourite leaves, and they've got like a middle to them. And that means it's the middle of a border. So you could line up that middle section, but also you've got corners, so you could go around the borders. What we have is a solid line of the pantograph, and the pantograph sits on the back table. So if you don't have a table on your loft frame, part of the things you need are a table. And we've got this on the back. Do you want to just lift that and show you? So this is the pantograph, solid line. Always finger trace your design to help with your muscle memory. I have this in my muscle memory like you wouldn't believe, because I've done this pattern so many times. Dash line is for alignment. So we would move it on to we'd move our quilt on.
Do you want to just show how you would line up the next row, Liz? That's always a useful thing to
yeah, because we've
show,
got it, haven't we?
It's one of those things that
people ask.
People today were interested
Yep.
in.
So if we go down here, somewhere in the middle here. So it's only in the middle. Okay. So say one of these points here, which is easy to recognise.
Right, so Liz is finding
I'm going to put
an
my
easy to
needle down.
recognise point on what has already been stitched.
Then, if you look at the back...
Bear with me. Somebody's left a chair in the way here. So,
there's only 2 of us in the showroom. I think we know who that was. So this is my pantograph at the back, and I'm identifying that little piece there as the piece I want to line it up with. And when I say line it, I mean the laser light, which is this here. Sits on a little bit thing. So I line up my laser light to represent my needle. So my needle and my laser light are now in the same bit of the design on the dashed line. Very important.
the dashed line represents what's already been stitched.
It does. So this is where we were, and now the next distance, which is this here, the distance that we've got between those 2 lines will be perfect.
So Liz has now just taken the needle up.
Yep, and you can now see on the quilt.
So now when following this solid line pattern again, that will be in exactly the right position relative to the row that's already been stitched.
And I can double check. So I'm double checking like the next little ear, whatever you like to call it. The next little ear as well, they're all perfect. My next line, the very bottom of it will be here. Perfect. So let's do it. So we would have finger traced. We would set our stitch length to whatever our preference might be for stitches per inch. And we'll have it in the cruise setting so that when I pause, I'd probably put a glide foot on as well. So when I pause, it's going to sew some extra stitches to help with nice pointy points. So I've got it on 11, 125 as my cruise or continuous stitching speed. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to start pretty much in the same point here that I did on the previous line. Actually, what I should do is I should do the top bit first. So you almost imagine like a line that runs down the pattern, because I don't want to go over here. I just want to stitch things to the right, to the left of that. So I'm going to come here, and then I'll stitch down, and then I'll have a look. That's good. Pause, 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 pause. Nice. Pause, 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 pause. Pause, pause, pause. Whoops, went a bit bigger. Went a bit big there.
That was a bit chunky, wasn't it?
I know, I did. I kind of fell to the right, but only my friends would tell me. There we go. A little bit more. You'd mark on here where your stopping point was. There we go. That, I did have a little chunky one, a little chunky munchkin there. That, I love that design. It just works so well. And I love doing this bit. So that's pantographs. Easy to do the alignment between the rows, edge to edge.
So,
puts it in no time at all.
Misconception 1, you need a computer to do nice even designs.
Exactly. So this is one of the things that the ladies who came today told us that when they've said, oh, I'm thinking about getting a long arm, well, that just means that your machine does it all for you. It's not as nice as what you're doing right now on your domestic. What? People don't realize there's hand-guided long arm. It's a real misconception about it. So hand-guided pantographs or hand-guided free motion or hand-guided, you can do ruler work. It's not all about computerization, is it? No, it isn't. And so examples of non-computerized long arm quilting is Pauline Burbage's quilt back here, The Trees in Winter, which was on one of our other customers, Linda's, which is a free motion whole cloth. Would you want to get close to those? Did we show them before? Can't remember if we did.
Can't remember.
Can't remember.
We have done it at some stage.
Okay.
I'm not sure we've looked at Linda's in any detail.
No, I don't think we have. So this is, it's actually an iron-on vinyl. And I imagine this was cut using like a laser cutting or something. I'm not sure. So anyway, it looks fabulous. That kind of bronze effect. And the feathers are just sublime. Yeah. And beautiful microwork. And then look at the border, the binding. Look at that binding. Oh, it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. It's a fine quilt, Linda.
Yeah, Linda's feathers are. It's so exquisite.
They're my favourite.
So exquisite.
Actually, Linda and Laurie. They're probably my favourites. Laurie's is beautiful. Laurie Tignes.
Who needs to do any piecing? Look, when you can quilt like that.
Oh, it just makes me feel very peaceful looking at it, actually. Right. So that was quilting from the back. But say you don't have space to quilt from the back, but you want to do repetitive designs. Should we just focus for a moment on full-line stencils? And let's just talk about full-line stencils, because we demoed them at Festival of Quilts, and we demoed them over in Belfast, where we were last week. So the lovely Belfast show, which is Quilters Fair, Belfast.
Quilt Fair, and
Quilt
yes,
Fair.
On again next year.
Absolutely.
In August. You coming over here?
Yeah.
There we go.
Hello. Yeah, I thought I'd come over here.
Is it 18th to 20th of August next year, I think, in Belfast? Something like that. Something
like that. It's 2 weeks after Festival of Quilts, which Pete and I were a little concerned about because we only started to recover after 2 weeks after Festival of Quilts. So we will be we'll have to do better next year, Pete, and not be so exhausted. Festival of Quilts was fantastic, but gosh, it was busy, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's just have a look at some of these things, these lovely full-line stencils with the pounce chalk. So if you don't have space or don't want to do quilting from the back, look, you can do these repetitive designs like the tiger stripe. I love the tiger stripe. And these swirls.
So those are both designs done with the stencils and free motion following the stencil design.
Yeah, that's that one. So if we want to do that one, I'm going to do that over here. I'm going to put this on the quilt over here. So quilt pounce is basically this. It's a reservoir. It holds the fine chalk, goes into this inside here. And then you knock it until the chalk powder comes through, and then you wipe it over the top of your quilt. You've got alignment marks on the edge-to-edge ones. So I just wipe it over the top, et voila, there is my quilt design. And then if I wanted to do the next one, line that up with that up with that. Et voila.
Continuous design.
Continuous design.
And what if you find that the machine is bouncing the chalk off?
Use hairspray. Hairspray. It just holds onto the chalk and means it doesn't float away. A bit like your hair. And it doesn't hurt your quilt. I've tried it.
Or the needle? Doesn't clog up the needle?
Doesn't clog up the needle, no. unclog it and read it. So with this is so easy to do. I love these full line stencils. And you can put them wherever you want. So you can do block designs as well. So here's some examples of some little designs done. These are the little charm ones. You should get some more of those. And this is one of Talen's feathers, which is beautiful.
Yes, and at fulllinestencil.com, which is the manufacturer of these stencils, they've actually got a video they've just posted this week of the track to follow, a suggested track to follow for this particular stencil. Oh. Because it can be difficult to know which way to go.
It can. It can be.
If you're not familiar with doing feathers, then you might not know that, so I thought it was quite a useful video.
Yeah, I'm not sure I did the right track. I think I went all the way up here to there and then backtracked all the way down to there. Then I did that one. Well, you better watch their video.
So, question just come in. Becky,
yeah.
Becky, yes, we do sell the quilt pounce, which is the chalk.
We do.
If you go to handiquilter.co.uk, that's our accessories selling site.
And it comes in 3 colours. The white, which you can iron off, as well as brush away or wipe away with a microfiber. It comes in barely blue and blue. But the barely blue and the blue, you have to just brush away or wash away. You cannot iron them away.
So just search on that website for quilt pounce, and the stencils are called full line stencils.
There we go. Right, I'm going to have a go at this. This is my afternoon of quilting. Okay. Now you could practice by using the finger tracing method first, which would be really useful.
Look at a fly that's just landed on the top of the Moxie there. Look. Blue bottle. Oh. All creatures great and small. Oh. Go on.
I just nudged him away. It would have been worse if I'd done something more lethal.
So in the background there is all our glide thread. You'll see there are quite a few holes in the display. We've got a big new delivery that's just arrived today of glide thread, so we'll be filling those up early next week. So if you've been waiting for some of the popular colours to get back in stock, 'cause we've sold so many in August.
Yeah.
They'll be back in stock next week. So let's have a look what Liz is doing here.
And it's not a death grip on the handles.
It's worth looking at that.
I'm really holding it very lightly.
And of course, the stencils and pounce are perfectly good for your domestic machines as well. They're not just for long arms. On this side. So that first one is nearly done.
I've done it. Isn't that nice? The first one's done. Finish there. Yeah? Oh. And now I've finished that first one. Oh.
Get rid of the chalk.
Oh. Didn't mean to do that bit.
Brush it off, wash it off, or iron it off, but only if it's the white chalk.
Yep. On the edges, I'd probably use a little bit of the iron.
Yes.
There we go.
So effective.
Really lovely. Yeah, we love those stencils. We do. So this is the Simply 16.
Ah, yes, we're talking about the Simply 16, isn't it?
Actually, it really is. Simply 16, we've got all the same sort of settings. as we have for the Amara and the Moxies. That's manual. You probably go, well, why would I have manual mode? This is a stitch regulated machine, right? Sometimes manual mode is just the right thing for knocking back areas of your quilt. That means like stitching really, really tight designs, and where you want it so that the rest of it puffs up. But the other reason why we might use manual mode is for things like pebbling. Okay, but otherwise we're in regulated mode, and regulated mode, you're right, that is why we get a long arm. So we can do some more. Again, a light grip. My default patterns. And my little swirls. There we go. That's fun. That colour is insane. It's such a nice glide thread colour on black.
Is that Limerick?
It is Limerick.
Yeah, you see, I know
Peter
my glide.
Holpin
I know
gets
my
the glide
colours.
thread colour prize for Friday, the 15th of September. Well done, Peter Holpin. He goes to the top of the class and wins the Glide Thread Club prize. Yeah, Pete does know the colours extremely well. Better than me, actually. Yeah, he's nodding. Right, so that's the lovely Simply 16. We've got some fantastic offers at the moment until the end of the month. So if you are even considering thinking or toying with the idea of getting a long arm, now is the time. The Simply 16 is on some phenomenal deals. I'm just going to say that if you would buy it with a studio frame, it's over £1,000 off the normal price. Fantastic, fantastic deal. So definitely call us, come to see us at the Harrogate Quilt Show. If you haven't already got the details, just email us and we'll send them to you. That'd be fine.
So these offers will last until the end of the Harrogate Quilt Show, which is on the 1st of October, 29th of September to the 1st of October. Then that's it.
That's it, 2023. Now's the time. Now is the time. So we can do quilting from the back with this. We can put it on a little foot frame. We can put it on a loft frame. We can put it on a studio frame. There are discounts on all of those frame systems. Two of them are self-assembly. That's being the loft frame and the little foot frame. But the studio frame, we would do the installation for you on that. Okay, and it includes that installation, doesn't it, Pete?
It does.
That is a good, honestly, we give you a little lesson as well. We show you how to use it. So, I'm going to move on to the Amara if I have time, Pete. Have I got time? Have we got time?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, we haven't done the ST.
No.
Should we do that? Should we do that next week? Should we do sit downs next week?
Yes.
Why don't we do a feature on sit downs next week? Because are you here next week?
Yes. What's going on next week? We've got some classes here, haven't we? Let me just check.
Oh, we're at the classes. We've got classes, Pete.
Is that on Friday as well?
Yeah. Won't be next week. And the week after, you're at Harrogate.
Correct.
Okay. We'll let you know. So this is the Amara.
Amara 20.
Amara 20. Amara comes in the Amara family now. The Amara family consists of the Amara 20, the Amara 24, and the ST. Amara 20 and 24 are frame systems, movable frame systems, whereas the ST, stationary ST, that is a sit down, but subsequently you'll be able to upgrade it to a stand-up movable system. Okay, fabulous. So the nice thing about the Amara is there's a few little features on here that we really love. One of them is the needle positioning sensor. That's so you can actually see where your needle is going to go into the work, which is fantastic. And I'm going to do them over here. I'm going to do needle down, needle up. I've got the ruler base on here because we were doing demos of rulers earlier today with the ladies. I'll just check this is, yeah. I'm just going to do a little ruler work real quick. So we've got a ruler base on here, and the rulers that we've got, I've just got the one that a lot of people start with. That's the Versatool. That's this one here. The Versatool is great because we've got this half circle, we've got a nice gentle arc, we've got this, which is the chevron, a straight line. And if I just do a straight line, so I'm holding the Versatool. It's got some non-skid stuff on it, Handi Grip it's called. And if I just push it gently away from me, and press stop, then line it up, and then I can do a straight line over here. And then I could come back over here, should I wish to do so. And stop. And just to show you how to do a little curve. There we go. And then you could fill that. I've got the gears on. A little bit of ribbon candy. There we go. In our little ruler work. So rulers are great for defining shapes, spaces that we can then fill with our designs. So rulers give us a lot of options and they really are fun to use as well. We've got the new to us is the range of Angela Waters rulers. They're on our website on handiquilter.co.uk. So I've still got my microphone on, but I think we're nearly up, aren't we? We are nearly up and out, and gosh, we've been talking all day, haven't we, Pete?
Yes.
We have. We've been talking about long arms, which is why it made sense for me, since I had nothing on my pad, to talk about this, what we've been doing with the customers today, and we'll let you know about future try before you buy sessions. It's a really nice opportunity to come along, no pressure at all. I mean, we're not high pressure people anyway, but it's an opportunity to come along, try out the machines, look out for our next session. It costs you apparently nothing to come, and we did lunch this time. We might do the same thing again. I thought it was really nice. Gives us an opportunity to have a break and talk about stuff, show people some of the samples, and just really good, really, really good. So Harrogate Quilt Show, for those of you who are thinking about going, it's Friday to Sunday.
29th of September to the 1st of October.
Yeah. We're looking forward to seeing our foundation workshop customers next Thursday. Then we've got rulers, feathers and fills. I'll be closing off the booking on that. I think I've already done it. So yeah, we're looking forward to seeing people on rulers, feathers and fills. And we've got our next workshops in November. We've got foundation workshop and we're full on the landscape class. There's a couple of people are cancelled on the Pro Stitcher class. So if you are interested in coming to Pro Stitcher, there are still spaces on that. I'll put them back up on the website so you can order that. It's with Linda Jackson, 2 days of Pro Stitcher, get you up to speed with some of the more advanced techniques. Doesn't matter where you're starting from, we're going to cover the bases because we want to make sure that everybody's got a really good understanding. Future sessions we might do more advanced stuff, but this is going to be one that takes you up to a good level of understanding, and then Designer will take you beyond the basics of Designer as well. Looking forward to those. Okay, we are all done, aren't we, Pete?
I think we're all done. A couple of comments.
Yeah.
Joan Arnold says that she's just finished quilting a top using the Versatool. It was all straight lines. Love it.
Brilliant. It's such a nice size. It's such a great little ruler, that.
And then Georgie,
Well done,
Georgie says, love, love, love my Amara, and now my Pro Stitcher has transformed it.
Yeah. Yep, looking forward to catching up with you. I will reply to your email, Georgie, and we'll get a date in the diary. All good. All good. And that bread, by the way, that was delicious. Georgie.
Oh, it really was.
It
Gosh.
really was. Yeah, Pete was very interested in that. We'll get that. Lovely. All right. And on that note, oh, and thanks also to, if she's watching, Paula Keegan over in Ireland, and she dropped off some beautiful fruit bread, didn't she?
Oh, she did. That was fabulous too.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Lovely. We do like all this bread. It's great. So thank you very much to Derek and Sandra, who helped us out at the Belfast Quilt Show. We really enjoyed working with you, as always, and it was a pleasure to see so many customers from Northern Ireland and from Ireland. We loved being over there. We love the laughter, and we're looking forward to coming back next year. All right. Over and out from Facebook Live in our Pinhole Quilting showroom. Have a wonderful weekend and happy quilting.